What's up, guys? We are in Cody this weekend. We came out for the 4th of July Rodeo, which is apparently one of the biggest in the US. We're just hanging out at Walmart. Bentley is just relaxing in the nice soft green grass. He's loving it. I opened the door so he can have a little bit of shade. It is sunny and warm here, which is kind of nice. I'll tell you, it's kind of nice being back in civilization a little bit. I've never just hung out in a Walmart parking lot before. I'm a fan. I like it. I do need to get my hat and glasses though, because it's a little bright. But then we're gonna go over to the rodeo. Last time we were here, made some friends with one of the locals, so we're gonna hang out with them and then go to their little shop downtown for the 4th of July parade, so that should be fun. We just pulled up to the arena here, and we've got these WeatherTech, like sun reflective, whatever. It's got like reflectix on the outside. Just sitting in the sun, even with the wind blowing, it was so freaking hot. Came inside with the roof fan going, all the little USB fans, and it is so much cooler in here. Bentley's up on the bed. I think it's about 80 degrees today. And luckily inside the van here, while I'm gonna be at the rodeo, it's like in the low 70s inside, which is the perfect temperature for Bentley. Thank goodness, because if it was any hotter in here, 75 plus at least, we'd be leaving, because I don't want my little Bentley boy being too hot in here. That is no good. But this is like his perfect temperature. He loves it in like the low to mid 70s. If it's any cooler, he freezes. If it's any hotter, he melts. Here we go. We are heading into the rodeo. This is gonna be a good time.
The girls will bring a mic to you. We've got a very special mask on animals here tonight. Let me show you what it's all about. YNP. Nice little bucket horse right here. The Cowboys want to know the answer. Well, folks, Bryce got on 2 for you in less than 5 minutes.
How cool is that? Well, it's fun hanging out at the rodeo. We gotta go check on Bentley right now though. They shot off fireworks right next to us. And I'm sure Bentley is probably freaking out. So we gotta let him out and kind of chill for a little bit. I guess this is a traffic jam in Cody, Wyoming. Today went by super quick. We are now heading back to Yellowstone. Knew it was gonna be a kind of a short-lived trip, but I didn't realize how fast it was gonna go by. Apparently, the parade that I thought was going on at 9:30 tonight was actually 9:30 this morning. So we completely missed it by like 12 hours. So, whatever. Well, it's a bad day for somebody. Short trip up here in the big city. The big city. I would say it's gonna be a pretty drive on the way back, but it's gonna be dark, so we're not gonna be able to see anything anyway. So we're just gonna hightail it back as fast as we can, get back to camp, and go to bed because we gotta work tomorrow. Well, we are back in Yellowstone after hanging out in Cody for a very short time. We went to the rodeo, did a Walmart run real quick, but that was basically it. So, whatever. It was short, but it was fun to kind of get back into civilization a little bit. But we're back in the park, back to work. So we are driving around Yellowstone, picking up all the bear spray returns, and we're cruising up toward Mammoth, and there's a couple black bears just chilling in the road. This is a Yellowstone traffic jam. Cool. What's up, bear? Cool. He didn't care at all that all those cars were stopping. He was just munching down on some grass as he was walking past. That was really cool seeing a big Yellowstone black bear that close. We made it up to Mammoth Hot Springs, and there's some elk just chilling there, right there. Just chilling in the grass, right in the middle of town. It's pretty cool. One of them saw Bentley. Bentley started walking toward him or something, and he's like, nope, I'm out. We just pulled into West Yellowstone to pick up some bear spray cans from one of our partner locations here. Hadn't been inside, and I show up and they got this super sick van life hat. So I just had to pick it up. Well, we were gonna stop here for a quick second. We're gonna stop and hang out here because this is a pretty nice spot, but not with a bison just chilling there. What's up, buffalo? Oh, he's just grazing on stuff. There's just an accident up here. Some car just went off the road. Oh my gosh. Wow. So we just pulled off in this little picnic area called Whiskey Flats. Give Bentley a little break, and I wanted to test out this new toy. This new Starlink. So I've only used it at the campsite, and I've used it in Cody a little bit. Oh, it's moving now. And I wanted to see how it does in some trees. So right now it's pointed up vertical, so it's searching, but we are surrounded by some trees here all over the place. And it finds satellites to the north, which is going to be right here. So I'm curious if it's going to be able to connect through all of these trees. So while we're hanging out here and watching that accident unfold, we're gonna see if we can get some Starlink internet way out here in the middle of nowhere. There's zero cell phone service. I'm gonna put the bike rack back up. Zero cell phone service out here, so we'll see how it works. Should be cool. What do you think, Bentley boy? You just love hanging in the shade there, don't ya? Look at you. Yeah. Hey, what do you think, bud? What do you think, buddy? This is a pretty cool little area, nice and quiet, even though it's right next to the highway. We stopped here not long ago and had lunch, and I came this way with my coworker, and that was pretty fun. The spot that I wanted to get just kind of right toward the front was occupied by bison, so we're up in the back here, which is pretty darn cool, right up against the forest. So it's pretty sweet hanging out here for a little bit, getting a drive around Yellowstone and getting paid for it. Can't beat that. Still waiting for Starlink to connect. It's still searching, so we'll see if it works when we're right in the middle of all these trees. There's a bison that just pulled up on these guys that were eating their lunch. And he just came walking right up to him. Crazy. These things can be so violent. If that comes walking towards you, you just leave all your stuff and get out of there. So, time to go put Bentley in the car in case he makes his way this way. Can't miss a photo opportunity, that's for sure though. It's a big boy. That's pretty wild. Pretty cool though. Just right there. It's that one that we saw on the entrance of this picnic area. And just came on in.
People pay money for this, you know?
Right?
Yeah, that means is it rut? Alright, so trying to get the hair off his back.
He wants to cuddle. What do you think, Bentley? Starlink was a no-go here. It's just been sitting there searching, so it's not connecting right here with all of these trees blocking its way. So good to know. This hat is freaking rad though. Definitely glad I got that. Well, that was a fun little break. Now back to work. Driving through Yellowstone and getting paid. It's so awesome. Apparently there's another accident as we are sitting just about to get onto the main highway from Old Faithful, and traffic has been blocked. Yeah, it's very boring. There is a life flight helicopter that just landed down the road a little ways, so I'm guessing it was another accident or something. People need to pay attention when they're driving. It's hard to do here. There's a lot to look at, but if you're driving through Yellowstone, pay attention so you don't get hurt, so you don't cause traffic jams, all sorts of things. Hope everyone's okay, but pay attention when you're driving out here. It's a long drive doing both the upper and the lower loops around Yellowstone, picking up all those bear sprays, but you know what? We were getting paid, so I'm all right with that. Now we're hungry, we're back at camp. We're gonna make some food. I did have a handful of people ask about the sous vide and cooking with the sous vide in the van. So I decided we're gonna do lunch out of the sous vide today and kind of check out the efficiency or inefficiency. It's, in my opinion, probably the best way to cook, but it's also the least efficient way to cook inside of a van because it just sucks down power. But let's make some lunch. So this is the sous vide, the little device. Let's see if I can get this off of here. There we go. So that is it. Come on, baby. So this thing sits in here. You fill up that tub full of water and it cooks food. So when I say this thing is inefficient, this is kind of a lower powered one. It's 750 watts. I have a 1,000-watt inverter, and this was the only one that was a decent brand and decent quality that would work with my inverter. The van is a little bit of a mess right now with Bentley rolling around in the dirt and stuff and then coming in here, but this is my battery compartment and it is equally messy. But I've got 3 Zooms lithium batteries. and then the 1,000-watt inverter there. And ignore all the wiring, I haven't cleaned that up yet. But this inverter is an absolute workhorse. It is constantly charging my drill batteries. I cycle those through all the time. It powers the Apple TV. It powers the coffee maker. I'm not a coffee drinker, but this is probably the easiest way to get some hot water quickly without having to pull out the stove. It powers the projector. It charges my laptop. And most recently, it powers the Starlink. It also every once in a while powers this little thing. It's one of those dash, like pancake griddle things. It actually works pretty good. And now that I have this Starlink, I am going to be kind of redesigning this whole area, moving all this stuff up at least temporarily. That way it's not all cluttery looking. But the last, I don't know, few months, I've realized that I want to get some more storage. So what I'm going to do, and this will also help hide some of the wiring that's going through here, is build some cabinets that are along here, along the top, right? So it covers the wires but gives me more storage, and then it'll give me a place to mount all this stuff that's a little less in the way. That way it's not taking up so much of the counter space. Oh, that's dirty. Ooh. So right now I just have kind of a temporary setup on top of the van, but I want to do something that's a little bit more permanent. So at the moment I just have the base, I have it double-sided taped to the roof so it stays there. Obviously the Starlink itself gets taken down whenever I move, and I run the cable just into the window to the router. But the plan for a more permanent solution than this, just being double-sided taped, is they have a like a roof mount for homes that's adjustable and it folds down. So that's going to be mounted up here. I'll still obviously have to take the Starlink down each time, but I'm going to run the cabling through the roof to the router and then have a box somewhere up here, a waterproof box, that all of the cabling can go into and stay there. That way, if I just need, enough to get up to where the Starlink is mounted, I can do that. Or if I am parked under trees or something, I can have the Starlink mounted out somewhere else and have plenty of wiring to be able to do that. So that's the plan. But right now, you know what? This is doing pretty good. That Gorilla tape, double-sided tape, that's holding that thing on there nice and solid. But yeah, Starlink, I'll tell you, this is a game changer for me. It is a little expensive, but I was getting maybe 1 bar of cell service here on either my phone or the hotspot. It was terrible. So this thing is bringing in some legit high-speed internet, and that's been awesome. We have power hookups here, but for lunch today, I'm just going to use the house batteries. So we're going to unplug. Obviously, solar's still pulling in some power, but we're just going to let that go. And we'll go ahead and see how much power this thing draws while it's heating up some water. Let's get it set up. First and foremost, we got to get the little extension cord out here. All right, got her plugged in. Close that up a little bit. So we're just going to do this right here on the deck. So get this guy plugged in, get this mounted on the little bucket. So this is one of the multiple reasons why it is extremely inefficient to cook with these, because it uses a ton of water. And I only do this when I have easy access to refill my waters basically right away, because it uses about 1.5 gallons. So we want to fill it up to that line there. Boom, just like that. All of that water to cook one little pork shoulder steak, which is what we're making for lunch today. Look at that, crazy. All right, we're gonna come over here to the iPad and see what we got. for power. So we're at 99%. It's pulling 902 watts right now. Granted, the Starlink is still on and the lights, and there's some other power draw, but my system right now is dumping nearly 900 watts, almost 70 amps. Unbelievable. So we're at 99%. Once this water gets up to temperature, we'll see what it drops to. And this is what we're cooking. Can't really see it. It's a pork shoulder steak, and I just seasoned it with salt, pepper, and garlic. It's gonna be pretty awesome. So to cook with these, you either use a Ziploc bag. I have a vacuum sealer, so we vacuum seal it, and we throw it in the water bath once it gets to 137 degrees, and it cooks it all the way through perfectly. And then you sear it afterward. But all of that work, all of that power, just to cook this one little steak. Well, it's actually not that little, but just to cook this one thing. So I think the word inefficient is even an understatement. It's just a lot of work, uses a ton of water, and uses an amazing amount of power just to cook that one little thing. But it's gonna be freaking awesome. And then once it's done, we're gonna sear it on the Tembo Tusk Scottle. This thing is awesome. Alrighty, we are getting there. So once it hits 137, the power should drop. There it goes. All right, let's look at the power. So now, look at that. Still pulling right around 15 amps, 180 watts. That's dropping. Nah. But all of that power there. 7% of battery in probably 8 to 10 minutes, just like that. So now we just drop our little vacuum sealed pork steak in there, and it just sits there and cooks in the hot water. And now we've got about an hour and 45 minutes or so to just chill at camp, just enjoy this beautiful day. Alrighty, our little pork chop is almost done. Let's see what the power consumption was. Let's pull up the Victron app here. So we got about 6 minutes left, 5 minutes left, and we're down to 88%, 11% battery usage. And right now we're only pulling right around 8 amps, just around 100 watts. That's not too incredibly shabby. All right, this puppy is smoking hot now. So we don't need to sear this for very long. Basically all we're doing, because it's perfectly cooked through, is getting a nice sear on both sides. The Sous Vide cooks it perfectly all the way through, and then you just sear the outside for the texture and the presentation, if we will. But that's it. That's going to be a big lunch. But that looks bomb. All right, guys. We are going to go ahead and chow down on our lunch / dinner. Whatever. We're going to chow down, and then we're just going to chill. So thanks for following along. Hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to comment, subscribe, obviously, and share our videos with anybody you think would get a kick out of it. Thanks, y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Look at this. I'm cutting it with a butter knife. That's it. Nothing to it. So freaking tender. Look at that. Absolutely perfectly cooked, edge to edge, little bit of sear on the outside. Oh. Freaking awesome.